makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part.
I'm going to chip in on the Twitter crisis that is ongoing after Elon Musk finally went through and bought the company, because it has been an absolute nightmare for the firm, for the workers, many of which have been now laid off. But I think the big question is, why is Elon Musk doing this? Why is supposedly such an intelligent, savvy investor who should, in theory, know how to run a company well, and clearly tweets enough that he should know how Twitter works, has gotten everything so wrong? And I'm not gonna say what my theory is until the end, but let's just recap some of what's happened. Uh, so here is Elon Musk quite recently saying, so just a couple of days ago, nothing has worked. Musk laments loss of Twitter advertisers and acknowledges trying to back out deal. So advertisers are clearly worried that if Twitter becomes more of a cesspool of far right propaganda, racism, misogyny, etc., which seems to be the direction it's heading. There was a report that said that use of the N word spiked by 500% after Elon Musk acquired the company. So that tells you all you need to know about what forces are being unleashed by his supposed brand of free speech absolutism, which apparently does not extend to people parodying him, because he's now permanently suspended numerous accounts that have parodied him, accounts that had been already verified. So that is clearly the not the free speech absolutism that he promotes, and that's certainly not the make comedy is legal again on Twitter that he proclaimed after acquiring it. So, what about advertisers clearly don't want to advertise on a platform that's going to be filled with potential hate, and that makes total sense. So, he is really worried about this, and ironically, he's using the staff layoffs to justify, or he's using this as a justification for the staff layoffs. And yeah, there's some activist pressure as well. There was a group that called on numerous other big advertisers to stop uh, spending money on this platform. This makes a lot of sense. Now, a reminder, because this is important, of how this whole thing happened. So first he bought a 9% stake on Twitter. And later he gave an unsolicited offer to buy the whole thing for the price of 44 billion. Now, he then retracted that bid, but apparently it was not enough, and he was sued by the shareholders of Twitter, which eventually forced him to accept that bid, by which time Twitter's share price had fallen considerably. So shareholders made quite a big amount of money out of this, which is brilliant. Although there was a tweet that I saw today that made a very good point, which is, I mean, Twitter is a valuable thing, I would say, for the public sphere. It's a site that has some value, and it's kind of tells you everything you need to know about the state of shareholder capitalism. That these shareholders decided, oh, we know that the site's gonna be trashed. We know it. That's why we're handing it over to Elon. But we're making some money on the way. And so a site that took a decade to build up to what it is now, just basically they didn't care about it. Anyone who really cared about the product would have not sold it to Elon, even if it meant not getting the massive benefits of selling it at the price that Elon Musk had offered. So that is the commitment of most shareholders to the products that they own. And that is not just Twitter. That is pretty much every company on earth that has, at least the ones that have that basically are not owned by a single family or a single owner. They don't care about the product. This idea that a shareholder has any kind of emotional attachment to the company that they own is false under capitalism, especially under, I would say, the type of equity capitalism that exists in the Anglo-Saxon world, where most companies are listed on stock markets and you don't really have like a dominant shareholder in any of them. So that's the value of this. Now, yeah, so he's basically laying off tons of staff because reportedly he's having 3 million in losses each day. Now, here's the thing. Twitter was not unprofitable. If you look at Twitter's quarterly profits, it started becoming a profitable firm around 2017, 2018. And then obviously you had the pandemic, which caused a bit of a blip there, well, quite a big blip. But by and large, Twitter was profitable in pretty much every quarter from late 2017 onward, until Elon comes along, and now it's leeching money. So this idea that it wasn't a profitable film and that Elon is needed, or that these sacrifices in terms of laying off employees were needed, is a rubbish excuse. It was a profitable firm. And there's the other issue, of course, that not all of this money is coming from Elon's pocket. There's numerous high-profile investors, including a Saudi prince. What's his name? Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, who is apparently the second largest investor now in Twitter, with a stake of almost 2 billion. And there's reports of also Qatari investments. So there's one Democratic senator who is calling for this to be investigated for potential national security reasons. But those are the people who are funding this little adventure. And I mean, just look at the guy's look at his Twitter feed. I mean, he's just tweeting nonsense. He's not working. I mean, a guy who tweets this much is clearly not in any sort of situation of pressure, all the while his employees are working on weekends and probably sleeping in their desks just to get his little deadlines ready for his new verification scheme, which is going to absolutely ruin the platform. Because, I mean, we've seen it now with all these people who have been impersonating Elon Musk. I mean, the first thing you notice is the name Elon Musk, the check mark, and the avatar, which is the same one that the real Elon Musk has. But a lot of people will see a comment and not realize that it's actually not the Elon Musk account. And I mean, it's happened to me now numerous times that I'm just like quickly scrolling and I see something and I think it's Elon Musk. And it's only when I sort of stop and notice that it's actually one of the parody accounts. So this is just going to be a cesspool, because not every checkmark is going to want to pay for their verification anymore, which leaves it open for impersonators. And you will get to the point where you won't be able to know who is real or not. And that was the whole point of verification. I mean, if you want a separate system, which a paid system which amplifies your tweets or something like that, fine. Have a paid version with extra perks. But I think the verification is something that shouldn't be dependent on money. Because now you're going to have people with principles who won't want to pay for this because they realize the direction where the site is going. And they're going to be replaced by fake accounts that are verified. And trust me, there will be a lot of people who will verify their accounts. People with not the best of intentions. And especially I think you'll see this a lot in like the crypto NFT space, where all these people will just want to have no problem spending money on things that will allow them to just basically bullshit more on this site. Now, whether I think that Twitter will survive or not, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna just like collapse in a couple of months, or maybe give it a year. I suspect it might. Oh, so another aspect of this is whether people, so there's two aspects to this. One is there a good enough replacement that people will jump to the replacement? And Mastodon and some others, the other one I think is called Counter Social. I've heard a lot of Mastodon, but then I've also heard a lot of people who think it's not the easiest site to navigate through. So insofar as that there's a close enough replacement, I think there's a possibility that many people will migrate to other platforms. Now remember that social media is a natural monopoly. It's ideal for them to be just one, where we do all the Twitter-like activity happens on one site. All the Facebook-like activity happens on another site. All the shopping happens on Amazon, etc., etc. That's why these services need to be really, really regulated, because they tend towards natural monopolies. So insofar as that there is a replacement for Twitter, I think people might migrate. I don't know. But I think something more similar to what Facebook has been suffering. And Facebook, and I've mentioned this on various videos, Facebook kind of died like a year or two ago, like around the pandemic, it died. I noticed that a lot of friends of mine just simply either quit or just stopped posting. My own activity on Facebook has gone down quite significantly. I mean, I check it maybe once a day, twice at the most. Days go by without me posting anything. I just don't use it anymore. It really, and there's no replacement in my view. I mean, maybe WhatsApp to some extent, where I still chat with friends, but it hasn't found I haven't found a replacement to it. I haven't needed a replacement for it. I think a lot of people just realized actually we don't need a site like Facebook in our lives. So it could be that Twitter will suffer the same fate, that at some point people realize actually we don't need to tweet. There was life before Twitter, and actually life wasn't that bad. And although Twitter had the potential of getting you closer to, you can directly engage with important people. Again, did this improve democracy? No, it didn't. So if anything, it made things worse. So I don't see why we need this in our lives or our political lives. Now, back to the original question I posed. What is Elon Musk's intention? Is he that stupid that he doesn't realize what he's doing is driving the company to the ground? The answer is, I think he's very conscious of this. And I think that's what he wants to do. I think he wants Twitter to fail. And the reason he wants Twitter to fail is because he never really wanted it in the first place. This was all just a giant meme from him. This was a joke. And, when he realized that he had to go through with this, and clearly is going to lose money out of this, then, he does what narcissistic sociopaths like him do. Burn it to the ground. If I can't have it, no one will. Or if I can't have it in my terms, no one will. And I think that is what he wants to do. He wants to drive it to the ground. He's going to blame everything else. He's going to blame woke advertisers for no longer investing in his product. That's it. He's going to just avoid responsibility for any of this. And yeah, I think he wants to see the company end up. Maybe he'll sell it off later on once he's done with his little joke. I don't know, but I don't think he's committed to making Twitter a thriving website or a thriving product. I don't think he has really the imagination or the character of bringing out the full potential of what Twitter could be. And, he's firing all the people that probably do have that vision. So that's really what I think. And I think this is going to happen. I would bet on it happening. So, yeah, that is the future of Twitter. In the meantime, well, follow me on Twitter. I am considering maybe joining Mastodon, at least checking it out, starting an account, seeing, what's going on. I do think a lot of people will be reluctant to leave Twitter, and I can understand why, even though it's going to end up being a cesspool. But, and that's why I don't really think it's going to die out immediately. Why I think the sort of Facebook route is going to be the more likely one. But I could be wrong. Maybe we are just all addicted to tweeting. Maybe all the rage that it produces is now highly addictive, and we can't get rid of it. So I don't know. I don't know. But I do think I do know his motivation, and I do think he doesn't want Twitter to succeed, and he doesn't care of his own image, because he'll blame other people. He'll find something else to, his career right now is basically one giant shit post. That's what he does. I don't think he cares about anything. I think the mask of him being, committed to the survival of the human race in Mars and all these wishy-washy things that people used to say about him that proved to be utterly wrong. Yeah, I think he doesn't care. He is like the Joker, just wants to see the world burn. So on that note, if you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter while it lasts. And maybe I'll see you on Mastodon or one of the other ones. Until then, take care.